All right. Thank you for tuning into another episode of The Game is the Game NBA live streamers consciousness. Thank you for rocking with me. Had to miss out yesterday. The bite on my turn turned into a scab and it was hurting bad and I could not talk without spitting every 2 seconds. So I didn't want y'all to see that and hear all that nastiness. So took a day off. It feels better today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Kyrie looks like he's going to play sooner than later. That vaccine mandate is going to roll off as the spring comes and numbers come down, like we predicted, and he's going to be able to play sooner than later. This is double with Simmons and KD being able to play sooner than later, from what their GM Mark said. So it looks like it's going to be on. The East is deeper than I've ever seen it. I've never seen an East this deep where I think almost 7 teams could lay a claim to say we're the best team or we can get out the first round is ridiculous. Let's look at the standings. Let me pull that up. And like I said, it's 7 teams deep. You have Miami. Obviously, Miami came to win. They didn't come to play no games. You're not here for no foolishness. Chicago. For them to even be in this position after the injuries that they had is amazing. Philadelphia, obviously, we want to see what Harden and Embiid look like together. I don't think Cleveland's a serious contender because I don't think to get out the first round because I don't think they're going to be able to score enough. They just had injuries to Garland, and I think that they just can't score enough. The Bucks, obviously, the Bucks. Brooklyn, that would make 6. And Toronto and Boston is frisky. I don't think either one of these teams could win the title, but they definitely could get out the first round. And then you still have the Hawks down there looming, which I think could definitely give any of these teams a run for their money. So the East, man, that playoffs is going to be something else. So it's seeding. The way that they did the All-Star break, most teams only have 20-something odd games to the playoffs. So it's going to be hard. Every game, people are going to have to take it seriously, and seeding is going to matter. Home court is going to matter. So I think that's dope. I also saw here, we go back to the main screen, something about Simmons doesn't owe people apologies. And Steph Curry said it's just business. I mean, it is just business, but at the end of the day, though, you was trying to get paid without working. That's not business. That's the opposite of business. So you can say it's just business all you want, but you trying to work and not get paid. That's just the opposite of business. I was listening today about this story here about Zion's pattern of behavior. We talked about this in the last one about Zion not wanting to be there. And his former coach, Stan Van Gundy, said that from what he engaged and what he saw, that Zion was always engaged when it was time to play, but when he was injured and hurt, he kind of disengaged. And to me, that's not weird at all. Like, he's hurt. He's hurt right now. He has a bone injury in his foot. He doesn't know if it's going to be healed or not, or if it's going to require a second surgery. I don't blame him for not wanting to speak to people. So I was surprised to see JJ Redick say that. And, JJ Redick leads into this, and I guess it's not that new, but he was a player that was an analyst, and now he's not a player anymore. So he's a former player, which is not new, but he was one of this trends of people getting into the media while they're actively playing. And, it's the whole, started off with LeBron and KD, and, Draymond Green has a podcast, and I want to talk about that, but about players having a podcast and having their telling their stories to the media, but I don't think anything's really changing. Like, it's the same stuff. Like right here, this is what I wanted to talk about. Harrison Barnes is mad at Draymond Green. All right. Green revealed in the latest episode of his podcast he believes Barnes is still upset and hasn't forgiven him of his recruitment of Kevin Durant. Harrison Barnes, I think to this day, don't like me for KD coming, Green said. And the reality is, I didn't tell Bob Myers to trade you to bring KD in. He took it very personally because of that story that came out that I cried to KD in the car. He took it personally at me. This dude invite Steph, Clay, and everybody to the wedding except me. I didn't take it personally because it is what it is. It sucks that you got traded, but you went and made your money. You see, that's the stuff that I don't like. It's obvious. Everybody knows that he recruited KD. Like, this is a known thing. So I don't know why he threw that stone and hit his hand. I don't think Harrison Barnes could, or any human being that watches basketball could say that you didn't get a better player, you didn't get a better package. It didn't work out after winning 2 titles. But now it's like, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. Like, oh, it wasn't me. Like, you did this. You recruited this guy. It was in the works in the middle of a 73-9 all-time season. You were recruiting KD. If I'm Harrison Barnes, I do feel a type of way about that. We're trying to make history, and your mind is still recruiting this guy. And the minute that we lose a series that we might not have lost if you didn't kick, or if you didn't punch, this is after you kicked Steven Adams in the ball, if you didn't punch LeBron in his balls, we might have won it. So after all that, instead of taking any accountability, you go on and you say, oh, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It's just like when him and KD had that argument, and then, they passed it up over the summer and they said, oh, it was the Warriors' fault. It was their fault. If they didn't do it, then everything would have been all good. Like, come on, man. Everybody knew you were leaving. The rumor is that you were supposed to go to the Knicks, but you didn't go to the Knicks. You went to the Nets. So we got that part wrong, but everything else was spot on. Everybody knew you were leaving. So it's just like, if players are going to get in this game and say, oh, we're telling our stories, we're taking control of our narratives, I mean, is it any different than what the media used to do? Because the media would tell stories that are one-sided and hold their throw stones and hide their hand. Y'all doing the same thing. So when I saw this, it disappointed me. Just like, because Stan Van Gundy said he was surprised that JJ Redick would say something like that, because he was always a good teammate from what he saw. So, I say that to say this. It's just like, we get pitched things sometimes, and we're told that it's going to be better. We were pitched streaming, and we're told that that's going to be better than TV, and we break the bundles. And now there's so many streaming services, we're paying what we used to pay for cable. And we were pitched this players empowerment in regards to media as it's going to be better because we're going to be able to tell our stories and tell the true side of things. And we're getting the same thing. Now, listen, these players are making money off of it. So I'm always saluting the players making money. That's great. That's great. Make your money. But if you guys are going to be hosting these shows, and one of the selling points is going to be that we're going to tell the truth and not let the media spin the narrative, then y'all can't start spinning narratives too. Then just don't talk about it. That's just my thing. Just don't talk about it. Don't sell us this stuff and then spin it, because it's the same thing with streaming. To me, streaming is worse than satellite in the cable packages, because at least I know that it's not going to be slow. I know what I'm getting every time. And I wouldn't say that this is worse. It's still the same thing as the media used to do, but come on, man. Everybody knows that you lobbied to get KD during the season, in the middle of a record-breaking season. Instead of focusing on winning the title and putting the cherry on top of that season, you were recruiting KD. So he has a right to be mad. And I don't know why you want to just say, yeah, I did it. And look at what we did after. Yeah, I did. It was me. So games are back on. It felt like a long break, man. That was good. I mean, it's good for the players. Rest their bodies has been tough. It's going to be a tough race towards the end. As far as betting, let's go ahead and get back on that. And I'm actually going to keep catalog of this because I haven't done a good job. But I definitely like Boston tonight, with Brooklyn still being a shell team. And so that's one that I like. And I like Detroit. Cleveland Garland and LeVert are not going to be able to play, so I don't know how they plan on scoring points. So Detroit's getting 6 and Boston is giving up 9. I think those two are very tenable to axe. Now, with the Boston and Brooklyn situation, you have a situation where it's a national TV game, and I try to shy away from those because people shy out on those. But I like Boston big today. So we'll go ahead and leave it there. Happy to have the games back. The game is a game. Go.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know? The game is a game. Always.